Here we have my Dynam pitch python, which I've had maybe 6-7 weeks. It's been a cracking plane. I've got about maybe a dozen to 15 flights on it. Obviously the weather's a little bit intermittent, so I'm just going to run through some of the things I've found with the plane and through the build process, and a couple of little tiny modifications I've made to make it serve my needs a little bit better. I mean, the plane comes in two forms. It comes as a ready to fly, which with the battery and a 2.4 Dynam radio system. I didn't need that. I bought it anyway because I just literally could not get a plug and play version. You just couldn't get them anywhere, so I bought the ready to fly. I sold the radio system, and I was left with just the plane, so I put my own system in it. With the build itself, instructions are not bad actually. As the old Chinglish goes, it wasn't too bad. It's not too much guesswork. There's a little bit, and obviously you know the internet's always there for that. But it being quite a new plane, there wasn't that much information. But the worst thing about it is mainly bolted on. There's hardly any glue in. The main thing are these the wings, the way they're joined together with these struts here. Tiny little screws, which you must thread lock. You absolutely must thread lock those screws, which I did, and I've glued the ends of them as well. So God help me if I've ever got to take the wing off or anything like that. But we'll come to that if we have to. Yeah, the build's very straightforward. Apart from the wing, I mean, if it wasn't for the wing, it'd take you 20 minutes. With the wing, it's probably going to take you an hour and a half, because they are that fiddly. And as usual, when you go through, you kind of checking to make sure everything's all right. The hinges are just EPO hinges, but I have used hinge tape along them as well, just as a backup kind of thing. So that should be all right. I haven't added any stiffening at all. The rudder, when I received it, the rudder and the rear stabiliser was very, very badly warped, and I did consider taking it back or returning it back, but I thought, well, it's going to be another 2 weeks by the time I've sent that back and got a replacement out, and who's to say the replacement wasn't the same? There was a lot of people on RC groups have reported the same issue, so I kind of thought, well, I might as well just straighten it out and be done with it. So I put a tea towel over it and a little bit of nearly boiling water, and gently ran it over, and it straightened it out nicely. So it all worked out okay. The servos, Dynam, not known for their quality. The servos that come with this plane are actually up to the job. The ones in the tail are, I think they're mini size. I think they're about 20 gram servos. The ones in the wings are 9 grams, and I would have changed them out normally, but they seem to be working fine, to be honest. They're quick enough for what I need. Yeah, certainly the power system, certainly very, very beefy. It's a 650 kV outrunner, 50 ampere C, which is kind of underneath here, and the airflow does go through a little vent there and past that. There's no venting for the battery, which I thought was a bit disappointing, really. And you're pushing a plane like this. It's a sport plane, semi 3D sport plane, so you're pushing it pretty hard, and the batteries do get a bit warm. I guess there could be something you could do. Maybe open up one of these little false panels there and maybe get some airflow, which I may do at some point. But the flights are fairly short, so it's not going to work the battery too badly. But in this plane, I've been using a 2200 4S Nanotex, and I've got a Gens Ace 2200. They're both about 25-30C, that kind of thing there. So yeah, they're pretty good. So the power system is pretty good. The stock prop that comes with the plane is okay, actually, surprisingly okay. I didn't like the spinner. It was quite badly out of balance and quite not running true at all. So I bought this 50 odd mil spinner with a alloy aluminium backplate from, I can't remember, it's an Irving one, it's very nice quality. And I'm currently using I think it's a 13/8, I think. Yes, I think it's a 13 by 8 APC. And the only thing I would say is the stock adapter is a collet style, and I have changed that to an E-Flight 5mm adapter with a set screw. So you can thread lock that in there, and it's a nice fit, and they run lovely and true. The E-Flight prop adapters are beautiful. Major change other than that was that the stock wheels are ridiculously small. You can see that's quite a big plane, you know, it's over a kilo, and those wheels are pathetic, and you don't even get the full wheel. I mean, in the wheel pants there, you get about that much wheel. So if you run on any sort of grass, unless it's literally a bowling green or a golf course green, or you know, something like that, or AstroTurf, it's going to tip over. There's no doubt about it. You're going to have problems. So I just thought we mainly fly on quite rough-ish grass. So I got some 75mm treaded wheels and put my own axles through, and yeah, they work great. The landing gear is all right. It's very, very flexy. I don't know whether they've just done, whether that's just a bit of luck, but it does seem to take the stress off the gear. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It is very, very flexy, and you know, it's gonna. You may, if you have a really firm landing, you may get a prop strike because they flex out that much. But I've been okay so far. I say you've got a nice scale pilot in there, which at some point I'd like to get my GoPro and put it in there. So yeah, build wise and modifications pretty good. I mean, some of the boys there on RC groups do some pretty major stuff on these, and I'd say it's more of a hobby. It's some of the stuff, you know. I mean, taking the glass fibre rods out of here and putting carbon fibre ones, I mean, that is a bit over the top, really. To save a couple of grams, and just get out there and fly. It's a great plane. So what's it like to fly? Well, fantastic, really. I mean, my maiden flight is actually on YouTube, and I had no issues whatsoever. Very, very little trim to change. CG is extremely forgiving on this plane. I mean, you could bung it around all over this canopy, and it would still fly, no problem whatsoever. It floats like you would not believe. It comes in for a landing so slow. Off power, you don't need to keep the power on. It's just so forgiving to fly. But at the same time, it will do some pretty wild manoeuvres. I mean, the roll rate on this is very, very, very quick. The rudder is extremely strong, so knife edging is fantastic with this plane, I must say. Inverted flight as well, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Very little down elevator needed on inverted. Elevator's nice and strong. I've got the throws quite conservative, really, and it's really quite a machine. You only get maybe 7 to 8 at the absolute max, really, because I mean, you're not. This isn't a plane you just dolly about, really. It's a pretty serious machine. So, but I've found it absolutely brilliant. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. I mean, I've looked at all the, you know, the gubbins there on RC groups about people who've had this, that, and the other fail, and this, that go wrong, and not so far. It's been, you know, truly a great plane to own. Yeah, I mean, you could be there, you know, literally forever modifying stuff, but at the end of the day, you just do the important stuff, don't you, and just enjoy the plane. So, but cost-wise, Well, they're ready to fly is around about £200, which I guess is about $300. The plug and play version, if you can get it, is about 145 to 150. So you know, it's just pretty good value. I think what you get, the power system is excellent. The fit and finish is actually okay. I did read the reviews in some of the magazines about previous Dynam stuff, and the quality's been pretty poor, but by the looks of it, they're improving. You've got a bit of bleeding on the paint in here, you know, and some of the bits and pieces are a bit cheap and nasty, but like with any plane, I mean, you don't expect every, apart from if it's, you know, Hangar 9 or multiplex or something like that, you expect to have to change a few bits and pieces, you know, it's just the way it is. But on this plane, you know, you just do what you have to do. I mean, the wheels, you can change them out easily. I mean, if I got to a stage where we were on a perfect runway, I'd put the original spats on because they look brilliant, you know, they do look great. Prop wise, if you balance the original prop and manage to get a straight spinner and a straight adapter, you'd probably be alright, you'd probably be okay. But I just didn't like the vibration there, so. But yeah, all in all, it's a great plane. I'll just flip it over so you can have a look underneath. There's no difference really. Pop it down there like that. The cowling's on with magnets, but I'll put a bit of tape on there just to hold it because it does tend to shift a little bit. As you can see, there's a little bit of mud flying about on mine, where it's getting a bit muddy now this time of year. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good plane, and I wouldn't say in terms of who should buy it. Now, it's most certainly not a beginner's plane, and I would say you'd need a fair bit of aileron and you know, aileron or certainly 4-channel experience to fly this. But it's a fast plane. It motors along at a fair rate of knots. I mean, it's the power system on this prop that I've got here is producing 550 watts, and it's a little bit over a kilo, so it's a pretty powerful machine. And you know, if you can get into trouble quite quickly, but also you can get out of trouble quickly, so I'd recommend it to someone who's got a little bit of experience in the old aileron department. But altogether, an excellent plane. Thanks for watching. See you when the weather breaks.